Hello everybody, it's Brian with you from the Game Common, and we're playing some more Planet Coaster. We're continuing our Westworld park. So we are once again working on the entrance here of this park. Decided to go ahead and start molding around the top of this mountain, and so I could put this like a control booth thing inside it. I had a little bit of issue getting it just how I like it. Here I'm doing a lot of chiseling just to kind of get the terrain back just a little bit, because, well, it didn't have any top and it doesn't have any bottom, so it looks a little weird if the mountain doesn't go over it. So I end up spending quite a bit of time just like finagling it, and you can see that my size and my intensity of this brush is just down quite a bit, just because I'm just trying to do very minor tweaks on this. It comes out okay. It's not my favorite thing. It doesn't quite look like the one from the HBO TV show. That one has a roof, and unfortunately with the curved pieces, I don't really know I can actually do a roof with it, which is why I decided just to kind of put it in the mountain. So if they ever come out with something that allows me to put a curved roof on it, then maybe I will. You know, I could do a roof on the front part because that is like straight. So I guess I could put roof on that part, and then the back part could just be the mountain. And then maybe we could just like ease up, or maybe do like rocks up, so you know it kind of like blends in with the background. I don't know. Here I'm adding rocks just around it, just to give it a little bit of flavor, so it's not just like what is this just sticking out of the ground? That doesn't look right. The rocks kind of give it a little more legitimacy. They come out mostly okay. This isn't my favorite thing in the park, and I may tweak it based on your guys' suggestion if you guys have any awesome suggestions for it. So I guess there's my plug. If you have any ideas, go ahead and let me know in the comments. If you like this video, definitely hit that like button, and as always, hit the subscribe button, join the Game Common, show your support. But anyways, yeah, here I'm just trying to mold the ground just a little bit, a little more around it, just trying to get it there. The one thing I do like about it is if you're on the other side of the park, you can kind of see it, and it looks pretty cool. And here we go, really doing some of the terrain painting. And once again, I'm just kind of two-toning it all just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of flavor, so it's just not like one plain color. And you can see it really starts looking pretty good. I'm enjoying how it's coming out. And then here I decide to raise the terrain for pretty much this whole entrance area, just so it's not like, one of my friends came over and was looking at it pretty much in the last episode sometime during that, and he's like, it looks like a bunch of anthills, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. So we're adding a bunch of arches and just little stupid things like that, just to really make it look like it's more rocky terrain in the desert and stuff like that. I suppose we could start throwing down a bunch of rocks on some of the flat ground, and that might help as well. This park is going to take a while, I think, so, you know, doing things like that may help. I love the smooth and the rough tool. I love roughening the terrain a little bit, and then coming back with the smooth, just so it doesn't like look like super jagged and still has that kind of smooth feel. But overall, I'm really enjoying how the terrain is coming out. Decided to come back, tweak the entrance a little bit more, and then from here, where do we go? Don't we go work on the train station? Yes. So here we finally get to our first quote-unquote ride. Well, I guess this is technically our second ride, because we do have the river rapids. But you'll see here, this has been my idea for a while. I wanted a chasm, and I wanted the train to go over the chasm, like any good, you know, Western film. At some point, someone's gonna put a bomb on the train tracks, and it'll explode, and the train will fall in. And maybe we should actually do that. I should totally delete the track, and then, you know, let the train just go and fall into the chasm. That might be kind of cool. But you'll see this corner here. This is where I was originally gonna do my Western town. So I decided to bring the train over in this direction. I don't really like it being all the way over there, and then I see there's this huge open space all the way to the, well, I was going to say the right, but it keeps moving around, but over here by the entrance. So change of plans. What I've decided to do is I'm going to go ahead and build this side over here. This corner right here is going to be my Western town. At the end of this episode, we end up building up and around that train station, and we end up building that building, but that's going to be like this huge Western town that has all kinds of different things for people to do and have that very Western theme. Then where we ended up carving out the ground, that's where we're going to put the Mexican town that we're going to put in. Haven't decided what I'm going to call any of these towns, so if you guys have an idea, you know, I'd totally be up for it. I should probably name it what, you know, the Westworld series names are, but I'm kind of open on that. So we we come, and we're just trying to get the train as close to the edges as possible, because I kind of figured that'll be just like, well, here's the thing. I can't really do a good path that goes over the train tracks without making it look weird, without building like elevated pathways and stuff like that, and that's just not gonna fit the theme so much, because we're going to be doing as many natural paths as possible. So that's why I'm trying to keep the train as much as I can towards the outside of the actual park. And then we're having some issues here with the actual curve, because I have the stupid angle snap on, and it literally takes me forever to actually realize, hey, I should just flip the angle snap off, because you see I'm going like back and forth, and it looks really kind of dumb, honestly, when it's done. I go back and I fix a lot of that off camera, especially near the Westworld, or the Western town. I end up fixing that so it's a little straighter. Here I'm just trying to auto-complete, but it doesn't want to auto-complete. For whatever reason, it doesn't auto-complete through terrain, so I end up having to like cut out the train just to complete the stupid thing. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how the train comes out. I don't know if I actually ride it on camera. It's alright. It's nothing spectacular. My favorite thing right there is, though, right at the end, you like kind of pop out of the train, or sorry, the train track kind of exposes itself out of the mountain right before it goes into the entrance. Oh, here you go. And I really kind of like how it looks, because anyone who's walking into the park can look left and they can see the train coming through. Well, I have 20 trains, so hopefully they can see a train coming through. And there's your chasm. Looks pretty dang good. Right there's going to be the Mexican town. Oh yeah, up here I put another station right up here on top of this hill, and I figure I'm going to do kind of a hill, or a town that's on the hill, and it's going to look really cool, I think, with the elevation. And then the last station, we ended up doing it over by the river rapids, and that right there is going to be our mining town eventually. So I have ideas for 4 towns. Once again, this map is pretty freaking big, so it's going to take us a bit of time to actually get all that correct. But here we're decided to go ahead and build our entrance, and once again, pathing issues. Welcome to Brian Plays Planet Coaster. I finally realized that, you know, it won't connect the ticket booth down, so I have to go straight, and I start kind of learning a little bit more about the paths each time I do it, so we're getting pretty good at it, I think. And then I decide, you know what, let's build a big wooden structure around the whole thing. And do I really leave it right there? Huh. I thought I actually put a little more space in the building. The building itself turns out to be pretty freaking big. Like, I don't know if we're gonna build any other structures that'll be quite this big. I mean, I need a casino, don't I? I probably do need a casino, or maybe a brothel or something like this, if we're gonna be like in true Deadwood / Westworld fashion. So I suppose I need to build those buildings, and those might be pretty big as well. But this one, you know, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it a little bit ways away, and that, you know, that works. I mean, you walk into a town, you kind of want to know where the train station is, probably, if you're like planning on leaving the town. Choking. I have to get a drink. I apologize. Wow, I don't know what I'm choking on. I've not had any food for like 5 hours. That's rather weird. But then here with the front, we're just trying to do just that like nice little curved roof type. And I play around quite a bit here, just trying to get the roof the way I like it. And I really, for the most part, can't quite get the roof the way I like it. What's interesting is you'll notice that front of the building has like these tiles, but then there's a lot of roof pieces that have like, I don't know what to call it, but it's not the tiles, it's like wood or something else on top of it, and it just doesn't look the same. And I was having a lot of issues actually making this roof look identical. So we end up having to play around a little bit off camera before I find something that I actually like, and really kind of figure out a good way to actually make this roof look good, because even right here, we're just struggling to make it look alright with those little curves. I think we end up ditching those by the end of the episode, but I mean, overall, I enjoy. I think this this train station came out looking really good, and I think if the rest of our western town comes out looking as DAP, I think we're gonna be pretty freaking awesome. So you can see right there, I'm enjoying how that looks, and we're about to cut here into me deciding to play with this here in a little bit. And cue cut. There we go. So yeah, here I ended up playing a little bit off camera, and I was like, okay, this looks good. Let's go ahead and roll with this. And there's a little spacing issues here and there, but for the most part, it comes out really good. I probably should have actually done stuff inside the train station before I put the roof on. The one thing we hadn't done yet, even now, is I still hadn't done anything inside the train station. I don't know if I will. I probably should, because that actually affects, what, the Q rating or whatever. But, someday. Maybe someday. I don't know. Yeah, all we're doing, once again, there is just trying to hide any visible cracks inside the roof. Inside, there's still some visible cracks. I start adding some roof pieces inside, but I never quite get it exactly where I want. And then here, we kind of have, like, which way do I like better? Do I end up leaving it like that? Huh. So on the right side, you'll see it kind of sticks out, and on the left side, it doesn't, because I deleted those extra pieces. Huh, I guess I forgot to go back and do it. There we got, you need to have a clock tower in front, right? And then I found the train pieces, and I was like, oh yeah, this would look freaking dap, like, just off it. So I decided to put the train there, and then try matching up the track as best as I can, just to get it to, look a little more realistic. So I imagine this is just like a piece of, like, this connects to the train, and that's how they actually get the train on and off the train tracks or something like that. I probably should build, like, a whole station that goes and actually connects with the train tracks. Man, I'm having issues talking today. I apologize for that. But then once again, I'm just going through all the Western scene pieces, just really trying to figure out what looks good and what looks best, and, what doesn't look good. I end up throwing the floor down here, and once again, we're just going with just a plain wood floor, and we're probably going to do this in every single building we do. But for whatever reason, it wants to, like, default underground, and I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. I end up doing some copying and pasting, and then things go quite a bit faster, and I kind of like how it, like, shades where the pieces aren't and where they are, so it turns out, okay. But man, I gotta figure out a better way to do that. Maybe I need to actually put the flooring down before I put the path down? I don't know. You'll see I start putting some of that roof pieces in, and then I just kind of give up, and there's a couple pieces just kind of floating there. At some point, I need to go actually finish that off, and we got a couple barn doors here, and then we put some windows in, which I don't really know if a train station has windows. I probably should have looked at some pictures of, like, ancient train stations just to kind of have a better idea. But yeah, it's my park. I can do it how I want. And besides, this is a futuristic reimagining of the Western times, so they'll probably have some incorrect information, right? And then I love these barricades. I ended up using them in where we had the other train station, and it just looks really, really good. And apparently someone's sleeping right outside the train station, because why not? Maybe that's where the conductor sleeps. We have a nice little, bed for you. And once again, this game, like, it really, like, okay, so I subscribe to the theory of lighting, because I'll do some lights in my free time, like lighting shows and stuff like that. And I subscribe to the theory of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and their theory is the more lights, the better. Like, if you actually watch their show, they just have, like, a ridiculous number of lights, like hundreds if not thousands of lights, and every song they're using different lights, and it looks really, 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 really cool. So I'm kind of subscribing to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra style of scenery when it comes to Planet Coaster. The more you have, the better. It's really something where you almost can't have too many items, and I don't know why, but the more items you put on the ground, the more items you put in the on the building and stuff like that, it just really makes it look very realistic. And that's true, because, like, I can look around my office right now, and I have, what, a dozen pictures just hanging up in here, which is a little unusual. Before I was married, I had, like, maybe one picture hanging, but, however, the point being, we tend to decorate things, and it's rare that you're going to walk into a building and it be completely bare. And so that's kind of where I'm going with this, is I'm trying to add as much as possible. And you notice I did that quite a bit. Like, the plain white walls are just kind of plain. Same thing here. Like, the building with the windows looks a little bare. So that's why we end up adding the tent and the boxes and stuff like that out there. And then we end up using these rocks just to add a little bit of elevation. And I'll probably have these rocks going throughout the park just to kind of keep it interesting once again. So it's just not like flat ground. Just trying to add as much interest as possible. And I added a few more trees. I don't know if those big green ones actually really fit the theme. Those trees right there, the tall skinny ones, are the ones that they actually have at the beginning of the park, but I wanted a little bit of variation for this whole thing, and I really do like how it came out. We added a little more cacti, which I guess will be throughout the entire park, and yeah, that's pretty much this episode, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. Like I said, it's coming along. The next part of the park we're going to work on is to the left of this building. We're going to build a wooden roller coaster to frame it in, so look forward for that, and I'll see you guys next episode. Bye!